Great questions of the three guys coming up mentioning and their impact. Duke Ellington, Miles Davis, and Louis Armstrong. How would I would say about these three? All three of them were band leaders, all of them were distinctive musicians. Three of the most important artistries of the 20th century. Um, Louis Armstrong. When you talk pitch perfect, when you talk about singing, when you talk about the trumpet, when you talk about the notes, he truly was one of a kind. I mean, Satchmo was he was distinctive beyond distinctive, if there's such a term. I mean, he could radiate, and it wasn't like he was doing things for effects. That's He really understood tone and pitch. Try to go behind Louis Armstrong and play the trumpets, that tones that he did, and then try to sing behind him and make them keys. If you understand about chord progressions and you understand about tone, you know that he was a distinctive, ahead of the curve musician. Talk about artistry. I mean, truly one of the most distinctive talents I have ever heard in any era of any aspect. Now, granted, sometimes when he would grin, he'd be singing and stuff, and it almost sounded like, some people might cringe and say things because it could come across like he was just putting it on to appeal to white audiences and stuff. But his talent level is no joke. If most artists had what he had, where he emoted, you can't even begin to understand how deep his musicality was. If you understood the tone, uh, I got a chance to really see those chords, and I was like, wow, he was on a whole nother level. Incredible, incredible musician. No wonder he was so revered. When you understand the tonality, amazing. Duke Ellington, who was my first introduction to jazz. I still remember going to my aunt Elizabeth's house in Brooklyn as a little boy. And I remember Take It the A Train was one of the first songs I ever heard in jazz that I memorized because I never forgot those chords. And a rest in peace to the co-composer, the late Billy Strayhorn. Long time ago, Will Smith was supposed to portray him in a movie. It never came to pass, but credible co-writer. But Duke Ellington, as a composer, as a band leader, had one of the greatest bands you ever heard. Who's Who was in his band. But he had this elegance, this debonair, this savoir faire that he created, that created decades upon decades of some of the greatest stylish songs you could ever imagine. He played like the style he possessed. And his musicianship, timing, and tone was so distinctive. You always knew his music. You always knew his flair. You knew his feel. He was my introduction. And I was always eternally grateful for listening to him musically because he was a standard. He left a lasting impact, incredible body of work. And, so many of his compositions stayed to my mind. Like Satin Dog was like one of those pieces. I just always knew his tone. I just was really like in awe. But then his bands were incredible. You know, you understand having someone like Clark Terry in your band. I mean, talk about Duke Ellington, what he meant growing up. It was amazing, amazing, and you could tell his impact on so many musicians. Last but not least, Miles Davis. Um, I went to Miles Davis like a smorgasbord. I'm talking about like had to have all his music, his books. Um, he changed the course of music 5 different times. He just had a distinctive trumpet style where space was everything, place. He was an incredible talent scout, band leader, had some of the baddest bands, and just understood the concepts, understood keeping your thing fresh, versatility, just an aura about him, a dedication. Um, One of those musicians that you could never get enough of what he was playing or possessing because he just put you. I mean, when I think about obviously kind of blue, but then we get to sketches of Sketches of Spain and Jack Johnson. I was thinking just the aura, the audacity, the way he hit you with the musical knowledge, the vocabulary with tone, you know, takes a Disney song like Someday My Prince Will Come, Someday My Prince Will Come, and just flips it, makes it into a more of a standard. The fact that he is his bands, the great musicianship, the way he was able to utilize so many talents, the concepts, the imagination, the bridges, the way he was able to connect the past, the present, and the future. Incredible. Set a standard. And these three men were three of the greatest, not only in jazz, but just in music in general. They all made music which was popular music that happened to be a hybrid of so many styles. Because if you listen to what they played, they became standards. And it's an education to understand, to behold, why they are three of the greatest to ever do it. And they inspired a lot of stuff that I listened to. They really did. I can't begin to say enough about those three. They left a lasting impact, and I'm thankful for listening to their music growing up on it. So, but tell me what you think about these three: Duke Ellington, Miles Davis, Louis Armstrong. Your memories, your records, your songs. What did you like? How you feel about them? And let's talk about them. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Stay safe, stay blessed, and hit that membership, because when you do questions you ask, I bring forth to you. Keep it funky, keep on the one. Stay woke. I'm out one time. Peace.